Earlier this month, Pew Research Forum released a long-ass study about the current state of Islam around the globe. The results are shocking to some, but for me, since I study religion, I was not surprised by its findings. In this very special episode, we'll take a look at some of the study and see how Muslims are just as divided as Christians. Welcome to the Ben Irwin Show. In the aftermath of the Boston Marathon bombings and the capture of one suspect and burial of the other, there was a report released by Pew which outlines the mindset of modern Muslims. And it is contradiction after contradiction. Let me explain. The survey itself was massive and it studied many different countries. There was a huge difference in the mentality of westernized Muslims versus the rest of the world. I'll put some of the key findings down here in the lower thirds, but here's a couple of things that I found interesting. An overwhelming majority of the world's Muslims support Sharia law. That is the notion that the rules dictated in the Quran should be law of the land, but yet they favor democracy. Many of the world's Muslims don't see a problem with believing in what they do, while at the same time they study science. The survey also finds, per Sharia law, that women should be obedient to their husbands, yet women are allowed to choose whether or not they want to wear a veil. Most disturbingly though, the majority of the world's Muslims condemn suicide bombers in the name of Allah. Well, that's great, but some substantial minorities in certain countries think such acts are sometimes justified. Well, sweet creepin' Muhammad, is that a surprise to anyone? Martyrdom is praised in the Quran, and if you've ever taken notice to my title sequence, the best title sequence on the internet I might add, you'll know infidels and non-believers are looked down upon. It's, that us versus them mentality that exists in all religions. One more finding I'd like to throw at you, which should come as a surprise to no one, is that many Muslims find behaviors like drinking booze, euthanasia, abortion, suicide, and prostitution immoral. They also don't approve of the gays. The gays! Since Muslims seem to favor blurring the lines between religion and state, what does that say about Islam's influence in American culture? Does Islam even fit into American culture, since that mentality goes against the separation of church and state? You can ask the same question of Christianity, since church organizations lobby in Washington and have an obvious influence over American politics. Should religion of any kind be a part of politics? And maybe atheism is the one truly American belief system. Of course, we can't claim atheism as American, since atheism existed long before America did. And since secularism is the fastest growing religious segment, it is a worldwide phenomenon. And since atheists are growing around the world, maybe we really will be able to change it. Someday. We are more unified than anyone though, and whether you like it or not, our planet is more connected than ever before, and each country and group has influence over the other. So what implications does a global society have for all the religions and the way people approach faith, conflict, and war? I mean, that's a huge question, and I believe one of the remedies to that is atheism. So is that why I do this show? Maybe. But I don't do this show to get on the internet and say that Muslims are evil. I mean, when reports like this come out, it is a good opportunity to reflect on the world and ask ourselves, what would fix all these contradictions? Pew also points out in their study that in some parts of the world, citizens fear conflict between Muslim and Christian extremists. But there again, you have to think, if there's brutality in the Quran just as much as there is in the Bible, what is extreme about violence in the name of one's faith? I mean, if it's in the holy books, it really is the purest form of fundamentalism. So, could one of my goals be to save the world? Yeah, it's a pretty lofty goal though. I have a whole episode coming up in the next couple weeks about saving the world, so watch for that. That is all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I mean, yeah, I asked more questions than I actually answered, so why don't you ponder them? Do you think atheism is a force for good in the world? Why or why not? let me know in the comments section below. And thanks again for watching. Talk to me on the Twitters at Benjamin Irwin. See ya.